Just a quick intro for the following intro to the video. I recorded this a year ago and was worse at editing than I am now, so finally got it edited. Hopefully enjoy the video. So, in front of me, you see this is not my normal car. Also, I'm showing the plates because this is not my car. This is a 2017 Model X 75D, and it's a loaner car that I received from Tesla because they're currently working on my 2023 Model Y. And I thought it'd be fun to do a little review on it because, well, I have it and I've been driving it for a bit. So, yeah, I'll go over a few things that I've learned about this car and my thoughts on it, and hopefully make a pretty good video of this. We'll see how it goes. Well, just sitting here in my loaner Model X, and I didn't record at the other supercharger I was at, but either the battery wasn't warm enough or that charger just didn't charge at a very high rate, because I was getting around 40 kilowatt hours. Granted, I was at 46%, so maybe that's why it was slower. I'm not too impressed with this car. I mean, it's kind of interesting, but this is an older, non-refresh model, so it's definitely a different experience. Also, the fuel economy is kind of bad compared to my Y. I would have been doing around 300 right now. But I gotta let it charge a little bit and then I'm gonna be off doing other stuff. So the front trunk on this Model X is interesting, and it's fairly substantial in size. And not a lot of light to show, but there's even a little bit of space in front of this opening that kind of protrudes into the front of the car, which is kind of neat. This does suffer from the same, what I consider at least to be a flaw that all the Teslas have. I do think this should be powered for the kind of money you pay for this, but it's very fragile, so you don't want to push on this or slam it like you would a normal hood of a car. It's something you want to do with two hands. So that's, basically every other Tesla, so don't really know what to say there. Another thing I've found about this car is just how spacious it is. And I haven't looked up the cubic footage for the interior, but this is definitely more space than I have in my Y. I don't know if there's a way to release the seats. I honestly didn't even think to check that. It does have a bigger, I don't know what to call it, basement, I guess. And my understanding is this is probably the drive unit here, this little hump. So, oh, that's interesting. Don't know if I'm supposed to be doing that. Don't know what this is. This was just under there. So, ugh. And this is kind of tricky to get in, the little cover. There we go. This does come with the nice rubberized floor mats, which is kind of cool. Although they apparently don't clean the loaner car. It's pretty dirty in here. I am pretty happy to have one though, because being able to drive a vehicle that drives itself has its perks. So one thing I found about this car and the way it looks that I don't like is all this awful chrome. I'm really glad. It's hard to say if Sandy Monroe with Monroe Group was the reason for the chrome disappearing, but oh my goodness, I'm so glad they got rid of it all in the refresh. Also another fit and finish that I didn't notice. Holy cow. But yeah, the chrome on this is it's hideous. It's gross looking. Like, I hate it. It makes the car feel old. I mean, it is a 5-year-old car though, so like, I'm kind of glad the chrome's gone. And this wing, since this is just a normal whatever Model X, this wing doesn't retract. So it is kind of weird seeing it in the rearview mirror when I look at the back. But yeah, I am not a fan of the chrome. This chrome finish, it's gross. Even around the side view cameras. It's just disgusting to look at it. It's like, ugh. So even on the front, I am really glad that Tesla did away with the chrome. One of the funny quirks about these Model X's, and I don't remember what the reason is behind it, but when they get wet, you get kind of a different color to the glass. So it might not be showing up on camera as well as it does in my face, looking at my own eyes, but it kind of gets a yellow tinge to it depending on the light's reflecting. So right now it just looks like water droplets. But then when I go this way, it looks yellow, which is kind of cool. I don't know what the reason is for it. I Googled it once, but yeah. Just thought it was worth pointing out since it's kind of neat. Well, after doing some messing around, apparently it is possible to fold the seats down. Use these little side levers here to release them, which gives you a ton more space. The only problem is the side lever for that portion of the seat is busted. So, yeah. Definitely a reason why this is a loaner vehicle, I'm guessing. And it only has 58,000 miles on it, and I'm kind of just surprised how rough a shape it's in, but I'm guessing the people that borrow them just don't take care of them. Because the thing I noticed here is the door bumper has wore completely through the paint down to bare metal. It'd be this little bumper right here. So that's kind of interesting. Also, I forget what the VIN said, but based on the terrible panel gaps, I'm guessing this is a Fremont build. I mean, look at that. It doesn't even line up. That doesn't line up. This actually looks mostly okay. It's a straight line, and the width doesn't vary too greatly. The bumper's kind of questionable. Although, being that this is a loaner car, somebody's probably backed into stuff with it. Yeah. So, fit and finish is not the best. This gap, wow. Just kind of, I guess it could be this trim that's making it look like it's getting more narrow. I don't think that one opens. This side obviously does. And I think I can open it by tapping on it. Yeah. I don't know how to close it. Oh, it's just a bumper. Alright, just push on it. So, yeah. But, yeah, this definitely has some issue. Oh, man. That's interesting. So one of the things I find amusing about this car is the doors. These, unlike the Model S, don't pop out, and unlike the Model 3 or Y, they don't really swivel or anything. This is basically just a giant push button. And if I push on it, okay, well, the door will kind of open for me. I also found that if I hold the door frame, holy cow, that was aggressive. So the door will open and close for me. Apparently it doesn't want to open very far. And also this door, whether it's supposed to or not, I don't know. It opens a lot farther than I feel my Y does. Unfortunately, I don't have my Y handy, so I can't verify that. And the other thing about this car that's kind of an amusing gimmick, so brake pedal down there, my foot near it, kind of hard to show, there we go. If I put my foot on the brake pedal, it shuts the door for me, which is, it's kind of fun. I mean, it's just a gimmick, but having a door open and close for you, I mean, I can't complain. This does have the gull wing doors, but no matter how hard I try, they don't want to open from the outside. I don't understand what the issue is either. I don't know if it's a settings thing or if it's just a defective car. So I can't open anything from the outside. It also could be the fact that I have the key fob instead of the phone app. Show the key fob without showing all my keys, hopefully. So I have the little key fob, and I've tried. Oh, okay. Well, now it wants to open. I tried pressing the button a bunch, but apparently I didn't press it a bunch enough. Let's see if I can get the front door to open. Nope. I think the little side buttons on this must only work on the side doors, or the back doors. Okay, well cool. It's opening now at least. It's really quite the fun gimmick. Huh? I didn't ask you to close that door. Oh, the car backwards on my hand. Oh, it's so funny. I do find that I hate this gimmick though, because when you open the doors, the inside of the car instantly gets cold, since it's cold out right now, obviously. But holy moly, I haven't been in the back of my car, but I feel like this is just so spacious. Also, closing the door is kind of scary. I feel like I'm gonna get crushed. But yeah, so the doors are an interesting gimmick. I don't know what to think about. And then to close them from the outside, there's this little red button. I do wish I could find out why they aren't playing nice. The service rep from the service center thought that it might be a child door lock setting thing, but being that this is a 2017, like the settings are all different than what I'm used to, and this car doesn't even have some of the settings that my Y has. So like I don't have the, I don't know what it's called. Basically I don't get the little pop-up when I turn on my signal to show the side camera view, even though this car is capable of, there we go, showing side camera views. But yeah, this whole door gimmick is fantastic. At least I imagine it is till it breaks. Well, hopefully this will be the last time I have to supercharge. As you can see, I have 39 miles of range. I'm actually getting better fuel economy than the previous person was, and I'm at 18%. So hopefully this will be the last time I have to use a supercharger before I return this car, because I believe I will be charging at the shop if I have to hold on to this car longer than tonight, as of at least recording this video. So the cool thing is I don't have to pay for charging, so I just come here and I plug it in and it'll kind of blink and negotiate, and I believe, if memory serves correct, it turns green once it starts charging. I may have to get back into the car. Alright, so it's supercharging. Let's put this back at percentage though, because then it'll show me kilowatts. So yeah, this car just doesn't like to charge fast. It's charging at 58 kilowatts, and unfortunately that means I'm going to be here for a while. In the meantime, when backing in, I noticed that people apparently like to leave the chargers messy in this location. It is kind of late, so I probably should not make too much noise. Luckily it's far enough away so I could back up close enough and not hit it, but I don't know why, but apparently people feel like it's too much work to hang these back up properly. this one might actually be broken. That's interesting. Yeah, so this one doesn't even want to hang up. So that's why that one's not. I might, I don't know if you can send feedback or whatever on these things, but I might send something letting Tesla know that some of their chargers have a broken latch. You see that one with orange tape has been hit. There's another one with the connector on the ground. Is it broken too? The funny thing is from my understanding at least, Tesla's pretty good about maintaining these. Let's see if I can fiddle this around. Yeah, this one doesn't latch either. Yeah, it's finicky. So, it's kind of interesting. This might not be the best charging location. But unfortunately, it's the closest one. Otherwise, I could charge at home at 125 volts, 10 amp. But that's really not going to be too beneficial. Looks like it's picked up though, 84 kilowatts. I will not be waiting for the 50 minutes. I think once it gets to like 50%, I'll probably call it good. And then, well, actually I need enough to travel to Council Bluffs if I have to pick up my car tomorrow. Tomorrow in relation to recording this, of course. But yeah, I might charge it up to 60% and then leave, because that'll hopefully be enough. So this is doing some driving since my last charge at the supercharger, and apparently you can get efficient energy economy in these cars. This was without climate control on though, and I was driving fairly conservatively, which I normally do, but yeah, kind of interesting to know that the Model X can do 313 watt hours a mile in town driving. One thing I found interesting about driving this with Autopilot is how things work between the two screens. So on my Model Y, I don't have this screen here to look at. I just have my standard screen right here. And what happens is when you're driving with Autopilot, the car will randomly nag you to jiggle the steering wheel to let you know, let the car know that you're alive and you're paying attention, basically. Well, on my Y, I'm used to seeing either a little black text box popping up about in this area. Not that area on the screen, but just this physical area where my hand is. Otherwise, up here in the area of the car, I'll see it start kind of pulsating blue and trying to get my attention. And then I'll jiggle the steering wheel. But on this, it's a tiny little text box. Whoops. That'll say move the steering wheel or whatever to show you're paying attention. I forget what the message is. I don't even think about it anymore. And then it'll do like this really faded baby blue, like pulsating across the top. And on my way back into town from dropping my Y off, I missed it one of the times. Luckily it was before an exit, but yeah, so it was pulsing and I apparently didn't notice it because I'm not used to looking down here. I don't even look down here in my non-Teslas that I've owned. I'm just looking forward, paying attention to the road, and I ignored it long enough where it got upset. And the car started screaming at me, and then there was a orangish red steering wheel in the middle here that was blinking, and it was saying that Autopilot was no longer available for the rest of my trip. Well, luckily, since I had gotten to the exit I was going to take anyways, I just said, all right, well, hopefully the light will be red when I get there, and I'll just put it in park, put it back in drive, and I'll have my Autopilot back again. But it's definitely weird, at least in this build, trying to notice the notifications saying that, hey, you need to jiggle the steering wheel to let the car know you're still here. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I wonder if it's the same with the refresh models. If it is, I feel like that's annoying, because usually when you're driving, you're going to be sighted out the window like this, and you're not going to be looking down at the thing looking for the blue pulsation telling you to move the wheel. That's where if you're looking up and out, if you see something in your periphery right here, you're more likely to notice it. But a lot of that just comes down to the fact that since this is an older build and doesn't have the same features as a newer car, It's just how it is, basically. I imagine, at least in the newer cars, the interface, if they have the same screen as the Y, the interface probably behaves similar. But without driving one, I wouldn't know, to be honest. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to show it, but one thing I wanted to show is the nag for Autopilot. And currently I'm more busy watching the road than my phone, so hopefully I'm pointing the phone at least somewhat close. I am looking down a little bit every so often at the phone, but there's the nag. And it's really hard to notice because it's just so subtle. I shouldn't have probably pulled my phone down before I said that. But yeah, anyways, back to driving. So you'll have to excuse the reflections, but there's not enough light in here for me to record this. And one thing I cannot get over with this car is, oh my god, there's so many buttons and so many control stalks. So I got these I'm gonna call them knobs here, and then I got buttons next to them, and then I got my stock to put in drive or park. I got my turn signal stock, and this is my Autopilot cruise control stock. And this little stock all the way back here, just the steering wheel, and like it's just buttons and stocks for days. And it's really weird trying to use this to engage Autopilot, because there's been a few times where I've wanted to change my speed, and to change the speed you have to pull up or down on it. And well, I've reached for the turn signals, and this car in particular has the full self-drive package, if memory serves correct. Turn the light off. Yeah, so it's full self-drive capable. And I think because of that, it has like the lane change assist. So if I have Autopilot on and I'm trying to change the speed and I hit this turn signal instead, the car will kind of violently jolt into the other lane and try to change lanes while I'm trying to fight it and fix my speed at the same time. So I found that I've been speeding a lot because I'm used to just being able to adjust speed here versus having to reach down here and pull up and down on this and tickle it and stuff. And yeah, so it's been really weird driving this car. And on top of that, sometimes when I take it in and out of Autopilot, it doesn't want to go to the current speed limit. It'll go to whatever the speed limit I previously had it set on. So I think a lot of the things that this car does is it like tries to predict what I want to do rather than doing what it should do based on, I guess, my interactions with the buttons. Zoom out a little more. So that's been kind of interesting. I believe this is running the newer computer. I talked to a friend of mine about it, and he said, let's see here. He said that if the car can see cones, that's the easiest way to tell if you have hardware 2 or 3. Because I guess hardware 2 can only see cars. I haven't really done anything to verify that. He'd be more knowledgeable than I am. So, I don't know. It sees the cars, it sees the cones, which is nice. This does have the sensors, which are kind of hit or miss. I think, let's put it in, get it ready to drive. Oh, it doesn't want to close the gull wing doors for me. I do not. That's the other thing. I don't know how to close the doors. Uh-oh. Let's see here. There we go. I'm not going to be driving, but I wanted to show the sensors, which is something actually I do wish my car had now. So I put the car in reverse, and the sensors are picking up on nearby objects. I'm just going to back up a tiny bit. Oh boy. I'm a little anxious because I don't want to hit anything. There we go. So now it sees that I'm backing up against a wall and it says I'm 27 inches away. And I can't do that with my car. So my car, look at this view, and normally I wouldn't back up that close to the wall. In my car, pull up camera. There we go. So normally, I'll pull forward a bit. I'd be probably about that far away. Let's see here. Put it back in reverse. Yeah, I'll be a little further. Usually I try to make it so these lines, the end of these lines, are up against whatever object is in the way. But I really do like having these sensors. One of the things that I'm getting used to with this car, I've only had it for like 10 hours now, but is the navigate on autopilot. And my friend showed me the settings and stuff because I had no clue like what I was doing. It'd be interesting to turn require lane change. I cannot speak. It would be interesting to change require lane change confirmation. I think I would rather leave that at yes though, because as it is, having this automatically change lanes for me by using the turn signal is kind of scary, but it sure is nice. Like it's almost worth it if I was going to go on a trip and rent enhanced autopilot for a month to use it during the trip. I am going to change this speed-based lane change. It was on Mad Max. I'm putting it to average. Yeah. And then the rest of it I'm going to just kind of leave alone. I don't want it to chime. It's annoying enough as it is because it'll like flash blue on my screen and it'll show that it wants to change lanes, and then it'll flash blue over here saying, oh, do you want to change lanes? When normally when I drive, at least now that I have traffic aware cruise control, I just set it at the speed limit and I just pick a lane and I stick in that lane. But yeah, with this, since it has navigate on autopilot, it's something to get used to, that's for sure. But I definitely, oh man, I do like letting it change lanes for me. Especially since this doesn't pull up the side view camera when I want to change lanes. Because, oh my god, when I first started driving this, I was terrified because like I'm trying to change lanes, but no matter where I adjust these mirrors, the what I see versus what the camera sees not the same. But trying to look at the mirror and then check, my blind spot, is there someone near me? And I'm kind of like panicking because I'm not much of a driver. It's like I don't want to wreck this Model X because I couldn't see somebody. And it does have safety features to help stop that, but I haven't tried in this car or my own car yet to see what happens if it tries, or if I try to merge in front of a car into a car. Because I don't know how aggressively it's going to stop me. So, yeah, I just going to try to not go that route and never find out probably. Just doing a little launch here, and you can see how noisy it is. Kind of shakes and shimmies. It's kind of crazy how different this is compared to my Y. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that video. I don't particularly miss that Model X. It was fun while I had it, but definitely lacking compared to my 2023 Y. One of these days, though, I might have to demo a refreshed Model X, although I kind of want to demo the refreshed Model 3 as well, but definitely would never buy a Model 3. Too low to the ground. I hate standing up to get out of my car. But yeah, no, hopefully that video wasn't too much of a mess, but I did the best I could with skills I have. So thanks for watching.